But from here, you could also access reports, your account. I'll just do my account, and it tells you about your account, what you've deposited, all that good information. I can't participate, so I have $0 in there. But if you had put money in or something, you could go in here and search. If you maybe didn't remember what you've put in there, you could find out all that information on there. And of course, if you ever have any questions or you have issues with the site, you can by all means call us and we'll help you through it. But I guess some of the keys to take away is all your bids have to be submitted by those close of the batches, 8 a.m., 10 a.m., and then 2 p.m. So you have a little time left. Is there any questions about the size or anything that you might want to see if you have a question about how to filter something or anything like that? I know it's a lot to take in at one time, but if you go home and just register and get in here and look around, if you have any more questions, by all means call us and we'll see what we can find out for you on the actual parcels. What I clicked on here was the bid tab. This is kind of shows you a listing here of all the certificates, and there's where you would input your interest rate you would be willing to take. This bid column shows you what's been bid on there, and you can see we have quite a few bids on some of them. We have 450,000 bids on one piece of property. So there are some that out there that are hotly sought after.
That doesn't show you what the bid is.
Correct. It doesn't show you what the bid is. So there could be 400,000 bids at 10%. If you bid 9, you win at 9.25. I mean 9.75%. So still, by all means, doesn't mean you can't win that certificate. You just you don't know what their bid is. So
but down right below it, in between, is that 4?
4, yeah.
So that gives you that there may be less competition to win a bid on that property.
Mm-hmm. So, and not submitted, that icon just tells you what you've done with this parcel. So if you've not submitted a bid on it, it'll say not submitted. If you have, it'll let you know, hey, I've already submitted a bid on this property, so you don't submit 2 bids or whatnot.
And what this page will also show you are the trends. If let's say the trend is most people are bidding on parcels that are over $4,000. And those are the ones receiving all these, the high volume. So then you might want to look at something lower, get your chances up. Look at the 4s and the 3s. Make sure that they're not undesirables, and then look at that trend. Maybe they're just parcels that are under $500 that people are interested in bidding on. So that's where I would start on this page, is just try to figure out the trends on how people are bidding. And remember, even if you bid now, it's fine because it's just a random generator on ties that picks. So there's not any.
Yeah, if you bid the same percentage, just say someone in this 4 or 3 or this 500,000, if you bid the same as theirs, I mean, your name goes in the hat. That random number generates. Of course, your odds are less at 500,000, but 3 and 4, if you tie, it's.
You mentioned that the letter S or N, South County, North County,
Yes.
is the reservation, the line, or where's South
I
County?
think it's in line with Tallahassee. As far as they just drew it across the top of Florida, as far as the mapping goes.
There, I think the meridian actually passes in between the Shoal River Bridge and I-10. So it's
Right
somewhere
there.
right in that area, but for all general purposes, really what you find is that it's the Shoal River or the Egan Reservation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So that kind of breaks it up for you some. There is an actual, your parcel does have those numbers mean something. In our tax sale booklet on our website, we give a breakout of that parcel number, what each set of digits means, so you can kind of filter that way too. If you're looking for something in a certain subdivision, you can find out what those 4 digits that go in that subdivision and filter out those parcels through that. Or parcels in Destin versus Niceville, all that's correlated in that number. And we can email you a copy of the tax sale booklet and an actual map of the county with those certain sections broke up, so you can just look at it real quick and know.
Yeah, if everyone's okay with that, we will send it out to this list. If you don't want it, just get with me afterwards. We'll send those out, the maps, the booklet, and as soon as we get the PowerPoint presentation down, we can send that also out.
Yeah. Well, our
Is there a
plan.
way to know if your bid is the lowest?
There's not. It's kind of a blind bid. You just go in there and place your bid. Yeah. And
When you just put 18,
right.
you don't know if
exactly.
5, yeah.
And you really don't even know on the ones that had 3 or 4, all 3 could have put 18. You really don't know.
Yeah,
And
so-
we don't either.
So if you're unsuccessful and you've got X number of dollars that you put up to bid, let's say $1,000, and I'm unsuccessful, when or how does that money come back to me?
We'll submit it back to you electronically, typically between the 10th and 15th of June. We have to balance and make sure all the funds are accounted for. Of course, we're not even getting final payment till June 5th on the people that have won. So it's typically a 10 or 15-day turnaround for us to submit those funds back to your account. So if you do put in
What were the
deposit.
dates again? You said batch 1, batch 2, batch 3.
They're all on June 1st, and we're just breaking them up into different times that day. 8 a.m. is
Oh,
batch
okay.
1, and that'll consist of half the parcels we have available. And then batch 2 is at 10 a.m. and will consist of the second half of parcels.
So we've got a lot of work to do in the next day or two, right?
Yeah, you guys have got. We're gonna and but there's a lot of good information out there. If you're not interested in maybe getting into it this late in the game, we do have certificates left over after the sale as well. Typically, those are called county struck certificates, or they're owned by the county at that point, in which you could buy those over the counter. You could just come into one of our branches. I'm located in Fort Walton Beach branch right down the street, and tell me you want to buy this certificate. Those are all 18%. You just pay for it over the counter, and you'd be getting 18% interest. We typically see those lower dollar amounts on those properties, but there are some desirable ones in there. We do have people that just wait to see what's left over, and they come buy up the good leftover ones after the sale. So.
Because you're guaranteed 18%. Of course, it's going to be any parcel that didn't receive
A
any
bid.
bids at all on June 1st.
Yeah.
Do you have any of those left now?
We do have a current list now. That's about just over 300, and the average cost of each one is $100 or so. Some of those.
Do research on those, especially if they've been out there a whole year now. There's a reason that a lot of them are out there, but there is some that, like you said before, it might be a 3-foot, 4-foot strip that connects to a piece of property you own or someone you know. Of course, then it would be a desirable piece of property to try to pick up.
Yeah, it's kind of something, your call if it looks like something you'd be interested in. So we do have that listing on our website. I'll show you where it's listed right now. It's under that Form Center. As soon as it loads. And it's right here under miscellaneous. It's called County Held Certificates. And if you were to click on that, then you would go and download that listing. And some of these are from last year's sale, some of these are a year before, and a few are from the year before. Their 7-year window started when they were issued to the county, so some of these you could technically buy today and file a tax deed on it the same day to force it to go to sell, especially if it was something, if it was next door to you and you were trying to get ownership of it, that might be something you'd be interested in. But this listing here, it shows you, these are as of May 7th, what we have out there, and you see the balance amount is what it would cost to buy. So a lot of these are lower dollar amounts. Most of them under 100. So that's what we have out there currently. And that year corresponds to the tax year, 2010 tax year, which was we held the sale, the following year. So they were sold last June.
And Justin, what's the rate of interest on those?
18%. Yeah.
Yeah.
So those are out there. And we'll probably have more after this sale. We've seen the number of those decrease from year by year. A few years ago we had 2,000 left over. Last year we had just over 800 left over. So out of the 800 we had left over last year, we sold, we already sold over 500 of those that were left over. So
Is there a fee that y'all assess? Like, because some of these are really small, so, would there be
there's
a percentage fee?
There's not an extra fee you pay. Basically, you would pay this lumped into this fee already as interest that's accrued since it was issued to the county. And, we do collect a fee off the sale, but you don't pay that. The certificate, whenever the person comes and pays off their certificate, we get paid a fee at that point. But
after 7 years, you bought the 7 years. It don't mean that you own free and clear yet. What about the history or lien thing like that? You have to clear it first?
well, if it goes at 7 years and no action's taken, then you just lose your certificate and it expires.
No, I mean,
Yeah.
I bought the certificate.
Okay. You bought a
And
7-year.
went- Let's say we put it to tax deed sale.
Yeah.
And now,
The market lien and some lien behind that.
Okay.
Which I don't know, I have to research that, right?
he's talking
Yeah.
about, maybe talking attached liens that could be.
Yeah, if a mortgage is on it or if someone else holds a lien against that property, if it goes to sell at the courthouse, those liens are extinguished through the sale of the property. So they would have to step up and pay off your tax deed in order to not lose their lien.
I see.
The only ones that some government liens survive, like an IRS lien or something like that. If there's proceeds from the sale, the clerk of court will go and pay off that lien. But if there's not any proceeds, then that lien could survive the
For
issuance.
example, if I don't have liens so much that, and I have to pay lien that too, right?
Yeah, then I think the new owner of the property would then, if the lien is against that property, would then inherit that
I see.
lien.
Thank you.
But it's nothing real common. The clerk of court's site, since they conduct the sale, they do have a lot of information on what survives a tax deed sale. And of course, they have an attorney's opinion on IRS liens and so on and so forth. So I won't speak on their behalf, but that's what I've gathered from their office. So that's that. One other key thing is you can buy or sell your certificate as well after you've won it. That means you could buy someone else's certificate. If they want a certificate and they wanted to transfer it to you or sell it to you, you could buy a certificate from another certificate holder. Our office doesn't get in the negotiations or agreement between what you pay that person for that certificate or what you sell your certificate to someone for. We just have to have a form that is notarized that says you want to transfer your rights to that certificate. And when we do the transaction, it is a $2.25 fee. But I just want to make you aware of that because some people will sell their certificates on eBay. I won't tell you not to buy them off eBay, but I'd be leery about anything you bought off there because they could be showing you a beachfront piece of property and they're really selling you a tax certificate on some woods in the north end of the county. So if you are going to buy one from someone that you don't know or anything like that, you can always call us and we'll look up the parcel and let you know what that certificate's currently worth. And then whatever you guys agree to pay on it, we don't get involved in that aspect. So you can always transfer it to someone for $0 and then.
Did you say there was a way to search by area, like if you wanted to search a certain neighborhood? Was there a criteria for
You
that?
can do zip codes under that same drop-down box that he was picking where he picked homes.
You can do zip code, city.
Cities.
Is there any, can you narrow it down
Can you do a
anymore?
street address on
You
that?
can do
Street
streets.
address?
Street.
And then that parcel ID number will have, like 002S. Well, I'm just making up 122. The next 4 digits is your subdivision. So if you know the next 4 is all in, say, Indian Bayou, you could type in like a partial, you could type in only the first 8 digits of a parcel and click search. And it'll pull up all of them with whatever the remaining thing is. So if you just put in a portion of a parcel, it'll pull up everything that matches whatever you've put in. So that there's a,
So if you're looking at a certain area, I would go to the property appraiser's website, click on that. On a parcel that's in that neighborhood, you'll find that, your 8 digits, your last, your second, fourth.
Yeah, I've inquired about a list of each subdivision with their numbers. I haven't received one yet, so if I do, because I've had some other folks inquire about that. So. But I appreciate y'all coming and hearing what we had to say about tax certificates. If you participate, I hope you guys have good luck. Of course, we would like all our locals to do well in the sale.
Don't forget, if you do want to participate, it is Friday,
Yeah.
at 8 o'clock is the first batch. So start your research now and get your bids in and good luck. And if not, stick around and look at the county struct list. It's a good one to look at.
You guys improvise real well.
Thank you. Yeah, we had to work around a few things. Thanks.